All right. Hello, hello, hello. Social from YouTube, LinkedIn, and everywhere else. Let me know that you guys can hear me okay. So, today I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Simone Gentles. She's been in our program for a while. She's one of my favorite people in the world, and she is the founder of Journey Home Mentorship Program. But first, I wanted to make sure you guys can all hear us first. So, put yes in the chat before we dive in. So, for those of you that are watching, let me know that you guys can hear us okay first, and then let me know where you guys are watching from. Okay. All right. Yes, in the chat, guys, if you guys can hear us okay before we dive in. Yes. All right, Nia. Hey, long time, girl. How you been? Okay. All right. Awesome. So I'm gonna let her take the floor. Dr. Gentles, if you can just introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, so we can dive right in.
All right. First of all, I'm so happy to be on here. It's a great pleasure for you to invite me and interview me, Patience. Um, my background, I was actually born and raised in Jamaica and grew up there until I was 14 and I moved to Canada, the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area to be specific. And yeah, this has been my home. I've traveled a lot since moving to Canada, but this is currently my home. And right now, I am a physician that's working now as a family doctor in the rural area and also in the urban area of the Greater Toronto region.
Okay.
I do quite a few things. I do comprehensive family medicine at present. I help with surgery. I teach. Um, and now I do this. I am the founder of Journey Home Mentorship.
Okay. So, you've been in the medical field, just pretty deeply. How early did you know, growing up that hey, this you wanted to go into medicine?
It's a good question. It wasn't one exact aha moment. Um, it's honestly, it's in reflection. I realized that I had the desire to do medicine, learn about science since I was really young. I remember as early as learning how to cook. I know this is going to sound really funny, but even as early as learning how to cook, I was interested in the anatomy of the meat that I was cooking. It was that serious.
Wow.
And I remember just interested in TV shows like ER, if you guys remember that classic medical drama. I was that person, like that was my show. So back then, I never said I wanted to be a doctor, but interested enough. My dad kept on calling me Dr. Gentles without even me desiring to be a doctor. It took years, really in high school, for me to recognize that this is actually something I wanted to do. And in university, that's when I actually committed to the pathway of pursuing medicine.
Okay. So was it something that happened in high school, or it was just you kind of already just had a knack for it?
I realized that I just gravitated to the sciences. I tried my best for, to go into things like history, English, and it was just a flop. Just a real big flop for me. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy. And naturally, I just thrived in the sciences and math. And I just kept going. I kept doing the things that I love to do. But there was one pivotal moment for me. Some missionaries came to my school. I went to a Catholic school, and they had a book sale. Basically, they brought some books, and one of the book was by Ben Carson. And at the time, a friend of mine and myself decided to basically get the book together, and we started reading it together. And after reading that book, I have to say it really opened my eyes up to the possibility of being a physician. At that point in time, it seemed very distant. There was really no one in my family that was a physician that I could ask. I didn't see this on a regular basis except my own doctor. But after reading that book and kind of reading about the journey of Dr.
Mm.
Carson, it sparked an interest in both of us at the time in high
Wow,
school.
awesome. All right, so tell us a little bit about Journey Home Mentorship Program. So, what inspired you wanting to launch that?
Yeah, so it's been about 3 to 4 years of thinking about this concept and developing this concept. Um, First of all, I recognize from my journey in medicine that there is a lack of mentorship in the medical field. You can get mentorship if you're already plugged in somewhat in medical school, even in residency. But if you are, a kid in high school, good luck to you. Like, you know, doctors don't have time. Like, I know what it's like. We don't have the time to stop and and kind of give that investment into someone, the type of investment that they would need to actually succeed and make the right decisions for themselves. And I recognize that this gap not only started from the early stage of you developing this desire to become a doctor, but even into the professional life as a physician. There still needs to be mentorship in navigating some of the challenges of being a professional, and also being successful in life in general. There are other things outside of medicine that fulfills a person and makes the person who they are. And there's a great need for that. So, particularly in the early stage of preparing to go into medicine, going through the training, those are kind of the most challenging aspects where someone really needs guidance. And without guidance, I mean, it's a very expensive journey, time consuming journey. And if you make the wrong decision, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster for
Hmm.
that person. So I wanted to fill in that gap. I love to teach. I mentor. Like, it's just a part of who I am. There's several people I've mentored along the way that have succeeded, and I just wanted to bring my talents to work and to help and serve people in my community and also
Okay.
internationally.
Do you think that if you had, maybe had some mentorship in the process of making a decision to go into the medical field, I mean, how do you think that would have changed things for you?
Oh, it would have changed a lot of things for me. I mean, um, I was blessed to have a very supportive family and a very supportive mom. Eventually, my dad passed away, but if he was here, he would be fully supportive. So that's been a plus for me. But in terms of the intricate decisions that I had to make of where do I go to school, what specialty to choose, where to work, even the confidence as a female to present myself and negotiate and be confident in my role in society. If I had more mentorship and courage, and not courage but help along the way, I would have made some different changes, choices and decisions along the way. So far I can say, things have worked out, but I can tell you I would have achieved things either faster or even better. I wouldn't have to redo some things that I've done, because of lack of mentorship.
Wow. So what advice would you give to someone who, maybe in the same place, that you are. Maybe they have a child that is graduating, kind of interested in the medical field, but they're not sure. What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, so I think nothing beats experience. It's one thing to do research online, it's another thing to experience it yourself. And it's a common theme I hear from other people. When you hear about people that go into medicine, a lot of the time it's really because of the experiences they've
Hmm.
had. And the people that don't do well, they mistakenly go into the field because of some superficial understanding of the field, or, it wasn't really a true passion of theirs, and it's too late. Um, so for a young person, my best advice is really what I'm offering is to get mentorship.
Hmm.
Get under the wings of someone who has gone through the journey and able to really personalize it for you and relay what it's like for you and the reality of it. It's not like the TV shows. Um, there are good times, and then there are challenging times. So, but it's a very rewarding journey. At Journey Home Mentorship for students that are, you know, especially in the latter part of their secondary education, they can join our community, and we'll be able to give them access to physicians, specialists, and different training, just to give them the information that they need to succeed. And with that information, comes
Hmm.
confidence that they absolutely know what they're doing, and they know where they're headed. And it's just golden from there if you have all those
Okay.
tools. There's no guessing game.
Yeah. So who does joining home mentorship help? Because there's a wide range of people that can apply, right? So who does it help?
Yeah, so currently, we hope to help grade 11 students
Mhm.
and up, all the way up to a physician that's either practicing or hoping to practice in the country of their choice, either their home country. Um, my experience has been in Canada, the US, and also New Zealand. I've worked in New Zealand, so I have a taste of international medicine as well. So there are opportunities to just get some help on what the possibilities are out there. So currently, Journey Home Mentorship is tailored to help really anyone that's along that whole pathway of making the decision to actually practicing and need help either in practice management, work life balance, you name it, we can
Okay.
help
And
you.
that includes people who are maybe transitioning into the medical field, or maybe a different branch of the medical field. Let's say maybe they were, I don't know, a nurse practitioner, but now, okay, they want to become a physician or something like that. Does it help people with that as well?
Absolutely. That's actually the best story of people that recognize that, medicine is for them. That's like the best story, and those are the people that I enjoy helping. So most definitely mature students, or students, or individuals that are changing their careers, they're all welcome. Even individuals who are not sure, perhaps they're thinking of, let's say,
Mm.
nursing or pharmacy, but they're trying to put all options on the table. You can also benefit from the program because making that choice is very
Yeah.
important.
And another thing too, that that your program offers, that I know we haven't discussed yet, is the fact that when you're applying to medical school, having experience like this, puts you kind of miles ahead of someone else that's just applying to medical school. You can literally say you've already have done a mentorship program, because it's almost like a clinical experience where they actually get to be there with you. So tell us a little bit about. The program itself, like what does it look like?
Yeah, so it has various facets and sides to it, but the most exciting part is there is an opportunity to come into the clinical setting and basically, shadow myself or another physician and see what the day to day life of being a physician is. This part of the mentorship is limited to individuals who are actually showing interest. So if you've already either enrolled in a medical pre-med degree of some sort, or you are an international medical graduate or international trained physician and need some experience, um, this aspect of the program would be very fitting. And especially for, um, let's say you're a student that just got accepted into a pre-med program, and you just need some experience. I mean, this is an amazing opportunity for you to build your resume and be kind of one of the top candidates for your program. It shows intentionality, that you're invested in the field, and you're willing to learn more about the field. I mean, um, getting into medical school, getting into residency, it's very competitive. But what people are looking for is basically the same. Like, are you passionate about the field? Are you hardworking? Are you resilient? And you need a way to stand out. And this is one way that you can stand out as an
Okay.
applicant.
Now, what about people that, say, for example, maybe they were a physician in another country, but then let's say they come to Canada or come to the United States and they're like, well, I mean, I don't know, what I have is going to translate here. Is there any help for them or?
Yeah, so it's a common need and story at present, both in the US and Canada. I mean, both countries are filled with international medical graduates. In fact, I am an international medical graduate, so I know what it's like to be trained abroad and come back to North America. I've been through that route. Um, Things are changing, and I think COVID had a play in this, that now the gap in healthcare is getting wider and wider, and more people are needing physicians. And so, both in the U.S. and Canada, things are changing excitingly for international medical graduates and internationally trained physicians, where things are programs are being developed to help people practice in the US and Canada much more easily than before. This is so exciting, even more than the opportunities for me in the past. So there are opportunities for you, and the key is to just get connected with Journey Home, and we can essentially guide you. And the process is very complex, I have to admit, but the thing with having mentorship is the connection. So if I do not have the information, I know someone that does, and I can easily connect that person, and that is the key to being connected with Journey Home Mentorship
Okay,
Program.
so I have some questions in the chat here. Before we start answering those questions, though, does somebody have to live in the U.S. or Canada to participate in your mentorship program?
No. So that's the beauty of technology. So a lot of the meetings that we'll have will be virtually. It's just easier, more convenient for most people. And so whether it's in the community or on live events, we'll have opportunities to come together and meet. Of course, people that join the community, they will have more private and exclusive access to certain information just because they have made that investment and commitment. Um, yeah, so also if you are willing and you need to have some clinical experience, and you are enrolled in a pre-med program or even in a medical program, and you need experience in Canada or the US, you can participate in our virtual clinical experience option that's available coming this summer. We're currently accepting applications for that, and you can go to the website and see if that
Okay, that's
suits
awesome.
you.
So you have both the in person and virtual options. That's great. All right. So our first question that we have, I'm going to go back up here, is from Tiffany. She says, as a physician, how do you protect yourself legally?
Yes, so actually, you cannot practice as a physician without some legal protection. It's just a no go. Whether you're in the U.S. or Canada, you it's mandatory. In fact, and not so much in the private setting. Let's say the physician has their own private practice, but in the hospital setting, or if you practice in a company that owns like a practice you need, they won't accept you. You have to have some type of legal protection. So it's mandatory. You just have to suck it up and say this is just how it is with the career and with our society, that legally you need to protect
Hmm.
yourself.
Okay, so next question is from Tiffany as well. She says, so in the medical marketplace, have you ever felt you had to compromise your faith or relationship with God in order to be successful?
Wow, that's a very heavy question. um So a few times, a few times, because medicine is about research. Medicine is about facts. Um, Medicine is about balancing the scale. In medicine, we don't really like uncertainty too much. So the whole medicine and faith, sometimes there's a bit of a
Mm.
clash there. But thankfully, just to give you a background, I'm Christian. So thankfully, before I entered medicine, I had a pretty firm and solid Christian foundation. And so going into training and practice, I know there are things I would not do or wouldn't participate in. But it's understood actually, even in my experience in my training and as a professional now. It's understood that within medicine you can't really force someone to do something they don't want to do, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu. You just don't, like, but our goal is to help people. So if we're not able to provide a service, you can definitely decline, but you can refer them to someone that can help them. It's their choice. It's usually the patient's choice to do whatever they want to do. But because of that, and I am thankful that that option exists, I I haven't needed to compromise my faith and relationship. In fact, that's what actually fuels what I do and the type of doctor that I am and the type of person that I am, on a day-to-day
Okay,
basis.
awesome. Next question is from Tiffany as well. And she says, how does your mentorship program assist mentees with loss of patience? Like, do you guys prepare them for that if that ever happens?
Oh wow! So this is people that has passed
So,
away.
how do you prepare people that's going into the medical field for? I mean, because it's inevitable, you're probably going to lose a patient. How do you prepare them for that? I
Um,
guess that's what she's asking.
yeah, I mean, everyone is different, to be honest, in how they really react to a loss. Um, I can tell you, as a previous medical student and medical a resident, there are some losses that were pretty hard, but somehow you got through it. I don't know, it's not something you can explain in
Mm.
words, you know. And so this type of mentorship and guidance and helping someone, deal with death or passing of a patient, it's actually very personal. There's no single way to do it, and to help a person in general. You really have to dig deep and see what is the root reason as to why. this person may be so affected by it, um, and figure out a way how to help this individual to be uh, a little bit more resilient in the future. Because you're right, passing of patients is something that happens, and we can't get stuck, in a certain place. Nowadays, things, especially in our career, things are changing because people are recognizing that doctors are human. We're human beings as well, and so there are things that are available for physicians like counseling. Things are different. So compared to 2 3 decades ago, where doctors were expected to be very stoic and not have emotions. That's not the case now. Like, there are supports within the community of physicians that are available for people. So,
Okay. All right, our next question is from Gabriel. She wants to know, like, what were your thoughts on attending medical school in the Caribbean? Mhm.
oh, thoughts before, thoughts after.
I guess you could give us both.
um, Yeah, so well, first of all, I applied to medical school in Canada and the US, and I did not get any acceptance in Canada. I had one interview in the US, and I was so excited about that. I thought I was in, but that fell through as well. And so, um, when I learned about the opportunity in the Caribbean, actually, I viewed it as an opportunity. I didn't feel like I was settling. It didn't feel like that. And that's the thing with pursuing medicine, really like anything else, um, you will use the opportunity that you have. So I saw it as an opportunity. I didn't feel like it was subpar. Like that was the mindset that I had. Like I went to get what I wanted and get to where I desired to be. After, I mean, I would not change anything. It was the best decision I could ever do. I Because of my decision to go to the Caribbean, I ended up traveling to many different Caribbean countries. I ended up having my American experience, even traveling to Barcelona, Spain, at one point. I ended up in New Zealand. Like, I mean, and I talked to my colleagues that were trained here in Canada. Some of them have just been in the same city, So I think the opportunity really afforded me a lot of opportunities that I couldn't even afford. That's a real joke about it. But it was a great
Okay,
experience.
awesome. So now I'm going to ask you about your experience with putting this program together, right? Obviously, when you found out about Patience Dean Studios, well, maybe you could tell us how you found out about us. You had an idea for this, you had the vision. So how did that process go?
Okay, so that's a good question there. So I found out about you patients through a friend of mine. Actually, I, I think it's been 3 years now. This friend sent me a link of an interview someone did of you patients, where you were talking about your vision
Mhm.
in heaven, and also talking about your childhood and how the enemy has really, tried to come against you, and how God really transformed your
Mhm.
life. And, you know, one thing led to another, and then I found out that you have this program to help individuals start and build their business. Um, I joined the Experience the
Mhm.
Currency program, and I'm becoming like a long term student, but I joined the program since
Mhm.
2023. It was a godsend. I really needed help with just structuring my ideas and really putting it in clearer words and actually executing it and helping me with the technical part of things. And it's been that way since
Okay.
that time.
Was it hard? Did you enjoy the process?
It was fun. I mean, the challenge was, with any new startup, the challenge is the time, right? Out of your busy schedule, trying to find time to put it together. But it was really good. I mean, I think every time I was at a meeting where we discussed um, plans and steps, I was amazed at how a complex problem in my head would be simplified in a minute or two. Patience, like I always admired that about you. You just simplified the process, and what became this huge um, problem became this very small thing and was gone in a moment. And so the time spent was is probably not as much as I would like because I'm so busy, but it was very efficient, it was very effective. And I know I always have homework and things to work on, and that was really good to have someone to keep me accountable because I know I'm going to be asked about my homework.
Exactly. Awesome. And then also, I mean, there was so much to do with this because with it being a medical program, there's a lot of paperwork lawyers had to do. People getting into the program would have to go through background checks. It would have to be cleared. You'd have to have permission, signed permission from patients and all. There's a lot of things that go into it. So for that reason, is this program free?
So it is not
And of course, you
free.
don't have to tell them the price or anything, but
Yeah, so what I've realized is in the past, because I mentor and teach naturally. Like I've been doing this from I was a child. I'll tell you a story here. I My little nephew, when he was born, because I grew up almost like the only child. When he was born, I basically took him under my
Mhm.
wings, and when he left our home to reunite with his mom, I cried and I cried and I cried until my mom went next door, asked the neighbor for their little boy to bring over. I mean, this part of me that's nurturing, loves to care for people and mentor people, it's been there. So I do it all the time. Um, I'm forgetting my question.
Well, I was
Your
just asking,
question.
was the
What was
program
your
free?
question,
And you were like,
patience?
no, of course it's not free, right? Because again, like the students have to be cleared with the medical
Oh,
board and
the
all of that.
point
Uh
is,
huh.
yes. So the point is here that I have tried to give the same advice to people just on the fly, and I realize that people um, don't appreciate the years of experience that are given to them. It's treated like it's nothing, and so um, it took years to actually come to terms with this, but I realized that putting a price on the service that I have for others will help them to appreciate the investment um, that I'm really putting in them, and also they will appreciate the time that they have invested in
Yeah.
themselves.
And not to mention the investment of the time we've been putting into putting this together, and all of that. And I know you recently just had your first event. I know it was kind of exciting for you, to kind of seeing your own products with your branding
Yeah.
on it and all of that. So, when did everything become real for you? Was it at that event or when?
I would say yes because yeah, seeing your logos on your different products and registering for this event, and the person who's organizing the event asking you about your role and who you are. I was like, yeah, actually, I am the founder. You're coming to terms with that. So It was a very exciting time, you know, and it helped me to walk in this role, which I appreciate, and it was a fun
Okay,
moment.
awesome. So what would be your advice for someone who, else that's maybe thinking about starting something else, whether it's a mentorship program, whatever vision God has given them? Would you recommend Patience Dean Studios?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think some people they have these ideas walking around, and they walk around feeling either defeated or unsatisfied. And I think one of the reasons why I picked Patience Dean Studio is, first, the intake was amazing. I felt like the person listened to my needs and met me at my needs. And I came bare. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know if my idea was even feasible, workable. I tried to explain the idea to other people before, and it was like crickets in my head and crickets. So, because it was really hard to explain it, you have this idea in your head, but hard to explain. So, how is this going to look like? How is this going to play out? And the accountability that you get from being enrolled in this program with patients, it's golden. You also get to see other people thrive and grow their business or make their products, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's writing a book. And when people launch and print their products, and it just kind of gives you a little bit of boost. um, and then you realize, within the group, that it's okay not to know, and it's completely fine. Like, you don't have to beat yourself up over it. And so I highly recommend anyone that's interested, whether you are a professional, with PhD, MD, law degree, whatever degrees you have, or honestly, you're just, trying to live day by day, if you have a business idea, um, Patient Dean makes it affordable, makes it attainable, and there's lots of support. So,
All right. So we have another question in the chat. Nia says, "Do you have a favorite type of person to mentor? High school age, college student?" Mm,
a favorite. Wow. Oh, wow. I think it's always exciting mentoring someone before they actually go into medicine, because at that time in your life, you are just wide open. You, you're very curious about the field. You're very excited. You bring a certain energy to you. Um, Mind you, I love to mentor just about anyone, but I'm just highlighting the special aspects of these group. The other group that I mentioned as well is before is individuals that are changing careers, because people that make that decision, they have truly already come to terms that this is for them, and it would be my pleasure to help them with that transition, because it wasn't an easy transition or realization. And the next group, which I think this group of mentees, they can still thrive on their own, but it would be such a joy to help current physicians just thrive in their practices, and just get ahead overall in their life, whether it is, financially, whether it is just as a leader in their community, or just making the right choices for themselves. There's simple questions as, how do you do medicine and be a mom? Like, how do you do it? Like, like how if you want to be a surgeon, for example, how do you be a mother and be a surgeon? Like, that's a real
Mhm.
question. And so, if you have the right person to ask that question, it's very personal. But if you have that person to talk to, it can mean the world for
Mhm.
you.
Wow. All right. So I know Tiffany says that she was asking a lot of these questions because she does actually have her daughter Asia, is studying medicine. So she is going to be looking into your program. And then Gabriel's asking a question. She says, is this a program that helps students find scholarships, grants, and things like that? But one of the great things is recently the event that you did actually connected you with a lot of guidance counselors, medical schools. I mean, you have a plethora of connections and relationships there. But I'll let you answer her question. She says, does this program help students find scholarships, grants, etc.?
Yeah, so one thing, Journey Home mentorship is a developing concept, and I think this is one area where we will continue to work on and develop. Um, but affording medical school is really one huge task. It's a task I had to come face to face with, and at one point I asked myself, "Am I really not going to go into medical school because I can't afford it?" It was a real reality check for me. So, um, at present, we don't help individuals to find scholarships or grants, but over time, we're hoping to be able to find resources where people can get these information and pass that on to them. Um, as I come across more and more individual, for example, in one of the conferences that I went to, um, this individual was able to um, gather scholarships and grants opportunities and provide them to high school students so that they can afford their college
Yeah.
education. And so, that's something I can relate to them. But what I can help individuals with, and what the program can help individuals with, is really helping them to navigate the financial aspects of things in terms of how do they afford it. Actually, most people um, don't go through medical school so much on scholarships and grants. Most people don't. So this is a topic of discussion of how do people do it, and that's something we can help with. Um, and as I said, I do have experience here in Canada, in the U.S., in the Caribbean, and lots of connections that can really offer information on how people afford it and what are the options
Yeah, and I think
financially.
also that's why you also have the community as well, because within the community, whenever things come your way, you're gonna post. There's gonna be posts in the community and things like that. Because, like I said, the event that you just had, how many, it was like thousands of schools and things that you. How many schools that you connect? Were you able to connect with that just at that one event?
Oh wow, there were it's quite a bit. I didn't actually count, but there's quite a bit of colleges and universities all over Canada, actually, from the East Coast to the West Coast. And then there were several representatives from different high schools um, that came to that conference. So, it was a great opportunity to connect with these people. There's quite
Yeah,
a few
and
of
then
them.
also these events are going to be something that you do, that you go to, annually, and then even there's other events too that are even bigger than that one. So yeah, so being a part of the community, they will have access, to all of those relationships, any type of scholarships, that are being offered at that moment, things like that can all be posted in the community. So yeah, essentially being in the community will get them plugged into all of the resources too while they're also learning.
Mm,
Um,
Yeah,
mhm,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the resources that I gather is not very easily accessible. That's the whole point of the program. So definitely, it'll be much easily accessed to members of the
mhm.
community.
Tiffany has a question. She says, does your program, this is interesting. She said, does your program incorporate AI or robotic training that has now been integrated into not only society, but medicine as well?
Oh wow. So AI in terms of actually the mentorship
I don't know. I
part,
mean, there's no AI as of yet,
is that
but
what? So well, yes and no in a sense. Like in terms of like the development of the program, AI is here to stay, and so of course AI will be utilized in the development of the program, and it's ever evolving like any other
Mhm.
technology. Um, Actually, in practice now, actually both in the US and Canada, they have come up with um, an AI scribe to do note taking. So as you're communicating with the patient, um, this AI scribe is like almost like a physical scribe, but on the computer, it's taking notes for you, and it can recognize who is the doctor and who is the patient. So you're not, busy head down doing the notes. You can actually talk to the patient, and for a program, I guess, pay attention to the mentee. But yeah, so it does exist. It's being used by different doctors here in Canada and also in the US. I actually just told one of my colleagues who works in the emergency room about this, and she said she'll try it while on her busy shift, so she doesn't have a lot of notes to do at the end of her shift. So I hope that answers your question. Robotic training, that's on a different level. Probably not.
All right. She also wants to know, does your program assist with job placement or interviews? I mean, that kind of goes back to the community too. Anything that comes up, posts and things like that will be in the community. But she says, does your program assist with job placement or interviews for dream positions?
So we certainly can help with preparation for interviews, so that you can increase your chances and your candidacy for the program that you are trying to get into, whether it's is medical school program or residency program or even your job, because there are doctors get interviewed too, and also vice versa. You can be trained as to know what to accept and what not to accept. It goes both ways. In terms of job placement, we don't offer job positions. That's something the mentee has to seek on their own, but we can always help them to either get ready for the position. But the interesting thing is, just kind of coming back away from just getting the job itself. Let's say you have a student in university and they want to go into medicine. Let's say they landed a volunteer opportunity at the hospital, but they're only able to volunteer for a year. Well, in as a part of the community and a part of Journey Home Mentorship, you can get advice on how to maximize your opportunities there, how to maybe seek references there, how to use that opportunity to fuel your path. So we may not be able to get the jobs for you, but we can help you get there somehow.
Yeah, and even with the previous question that she'd asked with getting applications and things into different schools, I'm pretty sure if they go through the program, they can get a letter of recommendation, if they need it, from Dr. Gentles, if they were in her mentorship program. So I think, that can help them there as well. And if they need, um, this is something that could potentially go on their resume as well, too, right?
Yeah, it's definitely something that will boost anyone's resume, and as I keep saying, their candidacy for training. Essentially, when um, when someone's application is being evaluated, they are the the individuals who are evaluating the applications are looking for people, as I mentioned before, that are passionate, people who have shown intentionality and commitment to the field. So if your resume and profile doesn't show that among all the thousands of applicants, it's not going to make it, basically. Being a part of Journey Home Mentorship will help to boost your CV,
Okay, awesome.
definitely.
I have one more question. This is from Gabriel, and she says, "Is this for DO and MD applicants?" I'm guessing that's Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. You know, in
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it applies to both. It applies to both. Actually, the training is very similar. Um, DO training, they have some additional, more musculoskeletal focus in their training, but it applies to
okay,
both.
so they do apply as well. Okay, awesome. So I know you have an actual launch where you're doing your own launch coming up, your actual launch for your business. Tell us what date and time that is, and then I'll put the link in the chat for those who want to register for that, so you guys can be on her actual live launch that she's going to be doing. I believe you're doing it with another doctor, correct? Okay.
Yes, yes. So that launch will be on January 6th and 7th, Monday and Tuesday. It'll be at 6 p.m. East Standard Time. And it'll be 2 days of basically going down to the basics of medicine and what it's about. It's really suitable for individuals who are thinking about medicine, and really all the way up. It's really getting back to the basics. So for people who are already in the field, it's time for self-reflection. It's time to reassess. That's what the 2 day webinar will do for these individuals. For people who are looking to go into medicine, also a time of self reflection, but it will give them the tools to do that. I have the amazing Dr. Tamara Duclair who will be coming on. She's an emergency medicine physician, and she has a wealth of experience, and she will share that. And we will take it from there. It's going to be amazing. It's free. Um, you really there's no limit to who can attend. So if there's a parent that has a child in grade 7, 8, and you see certain gifts, talents in that individual, you can come along. Like, there's no limitation.
Because this is going
And
to be open to the public, right?
Yeah, it'll
It'll
be
be
it'll be
it'll
a
be live
good time.
online and open to the public, right?
It,
Hmm.
Yes, it'll be open. It'll be live on YouTube. It'll also be live on Facebook. And if you are LinkedIn, you can connect with me and it'll be live on there as well.
Okay, like if I mean, of course they can go to gender.com. See a links on the bottom of that page or two as well, right? Well, you're not. We'll make sure. Your YouTube
Uh,
channel called, like, how can they find you on YouTube? I do have the link in the chat, by the way, guys. So you guys could just click on the link in the chat, and it'll also be under the video too, the
mhm.
direct YouTube video link for her live stream. So you can click on there for it to notify you. The link is in there now if you want to just click on it now for it to notify you. But I'll also make sure it's under the video. But if somebody wanted to find you on LinkedIn, what would be? Would they just search Dr. Simone Gentles, or would they need to search Journey Hope?
Yeah, for now, on LinkedIn, you could search Dr. Simone Gentles or just Simone Gentles, and send me a request to connect, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you. And on YouTube, you can search Journey Home Mentorship and it should pop up. Um, on Facebook, we do have a Facebook page called Journey Home Mentorship. And that's where we kind of share some tidbits and advice on that page as well, and keep everyone updated on any live events or any other future events.
All right, awesome. So we are kind of running out of time here. So, but this was so much fun. But before we get ready to wrap it up for today, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience before we wrap it up for today. Of course, your website is journeyhomementorship.com. You guys can find her there. The phone number is on the screen as well. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Patience, for allowing me to come on here and share more about Journey Home Mentorship. You've been very instrumental in me starting off with just the idea, concept, and now it's a full blown operation and business, and most of all, it's a service to the community. It's a well needed service, and I'm excited to. Um, be able to see the people who will be impacted positively by this program. I did forget to mention that if someone is just not into like a community setting, you know, they have the experience, clinical experience. Maybe they volunteered already, or they don't. That's not their need. They just need someone to just talk to and brainstorm on things. We do have one-on-one consultations that are available for people like this, but overall, you know, it's a program that's tailored to really um, meet the needs of people on any stage of their
Yeah.
journey in pursuing medicine. So, in advance, I am excited for anyone that joins the program, and I wish you all the best. And I invite you to come on board and work with our team.
All right, awesome. And thank you guys so much for joining us live today, to interview Dr. Gentles, her on social media, or just go to her website. And of course, don't forget to join her live. I will have the link under live on January 6th with her official launch. Because your child, even if they're in medical school or interest, they can also just get on that live as well, and get some free information, before getting into her program. But other than that, you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys on my next live stream. And again, congratulations, Dr. Gentles. I'm so proud of you. You stuck it
Thank
out
you.
through this process, and your dedication, is just, yeah, it's just unmatched. So thank you. All
Thank you.
right. All right. So good night, guys. Good
Here.
night, guys. I'll be seeing some of you guys in open office hours soon.
Get your homework ready.
Yep. I hope your homework is done. And of course, you guys already know where to find our stuff. Just, y'all know where to find me. So, but other than that, make sure you get on her live stream on January 6th.
Patience Dean has had multiple encounters with the supernatural, including a visit to heaven where she saw that all of us have a book, and within each book are all of the plans for our lives. She saw that most people are not living their books. So many kingdom businesses, books, and inventions are being stagnated by the enemy. In Patience's powerful encounters with God, she found the place where business and the supernatural converges. Now she wants to teach you how to overcome every strategy of the enemy, to launch that business, write that book, or get patent pending on that brilliant idea. Do you feel out of purpose, as if losing the battle against time? Are the promises of God stagnant in your life? Do you feel a tug from God to start a business? Stop fighting alone and call Patience Dean Studios now. Let us help you break through to live the abundant life that is already written for you.